It's a lovely evening. Welcome to the main news on Camnet TV. To present it, my name is Marco Kwakozi. Let's have a look at the stories making the headlines. The Christian Coalition calls for the resignation of the Inspector General of Police. Government aids to find a lasting solution to the high meal prices. Tenants' door removed in a family dispute over rentals in LUSAKA'S KANYAMA constituency. And in international news, Sudan's army chief rejects negotiations with rival RSF. And then in sports news, CHIPOLOPOLO intensifies AFCON preparations. For details of these and other stories, join us shortly after this break.
Introducing Darren B, a touch of class. Are you looking for the perfect place to elevate your style and glam up? Look no further. Darren B Touch of Class is your one-stop destination for hair and makeup transformation. Walk into Darren B and walk out feeling like a star. Your transformation starts here. Call us on 0772 870 588 or WhatsApp on 0972 049 213 to book your appointment today. Payments are made via mobile money or point-of-sale machine. Strictly no cash payments. We are located along Mossy Road in Ibex Hill, fourth close on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post. At Darren B, we pride ourselves on our team of dedicated and trained personnel ready to pamper both women and children. Darren B is open 7 days a week from 0720 hours to 1740 hours. From trendy hairstyles and stylish makeovers to flawless makeup, we do it all. Darren B, a touch of class.
Welcome back, and now the news in detail. Some traders at LUSAKA'S Kuku Market and Chawama Constituency United Party for National Development UPND leadership have embarked on a cleaning exercise to help combat the cholera outbreak. One of the traders, Josephine Chibuya, says the fight against the disease should not be left to government alone, but that all the stakeholders should play their part in keeping their surroundings clean. Meanwhile, UPND Chawama Constituency Chairperson for Politics and Mobilization, Chimunya Chimburu, has appealed to the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit and well-wishers to aid the cleaning exercise with protective clothing, transportation, and other necessities. Here's a report.
As the country continues to battle the outbreak of cholera in some parts of the country, some traders of LUSAKA'S Kuku Market and Chawama Constituency UPND leadership has taken it upon themselves to unblock drainages that have been blocked for some time now. Those spoken to say the fight against the disease must not be left to the government alone, but that everyone should take responsibility of the cleanliness of their surroundings.
So twachisa mukukrina twali mfashala njeba president weso atipozitwetro ekarapa clean obo tuleshitisisha safo tuishire na group yaba nandi twaisa mukuwamya kuikatana pamo bonse twawamisha chapamo kitia zbanandi yopo vekele pakule pale sangwa clean opo baleshisha pakule pale sangwa clean ukuthi chimfyo bubwero bubo bwakolero ubushire
timakirina so ndiye pamene tinali kukirina mfolo koma challenge nione na kuti kufunika transport ya kuti ichite chanu ati iti chose so ndio chikuru cha metiriri ku just because cholera is real cholera is real so chifunika at least tuone mamene tingachitire.
Chawama Constituency UPND Chairperson for Politics Nchimunya Chimburu says the community will not rest until all the dirty in Chawama Constituency is cleaned.
We are working with the market committee together with the people who are trading along the drainages. So we have cleaned this drainage here at the market, which was very blocked. Water was not passing, but we have managed. Now the water is flowing. We want to contribute to the keeping Zambia clean and green campaign.
We are going to work in conjunction with the entire Chawama constituency, so that every every day, if it means working every day to finish this cholera in Lusaka City, we are going to do that because we don't want any deaths in Chawama constituency. So we are going to continue working until the end of the rain season. That is when we are going to finish, with the working of, cleaning of the drainages and making sure that our surroundings are clean.
She has since appealed to the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU, and well-wishers to come on board and help them with personal protective equipment and transport for the waste.
With this high rates of cholera, we are appealing to DMMU. DMMU, please come on board, come and help the communities and the constituencies that are ready to work with you. We are ready to work. As you can see, a lot of us are here, but we don't have gumboots, we don't have gloves. Please come on board and help the community of Chawama, even the other constituencies that are attacked with this cholera.
Surely, there is need for concerted efforts in combating the disease. However, to authorities that be, this should send a message that plastic waste management needs immediate attention. Probably, authorities must consider banning the use of plastic as one way of keeping the city and the country clean. Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
The Zambian Empowerment Hub for Entrepreneurship and Skills Training, ZEHEST, has called for concerted efforts in the fight against cholera. ZEHEST Executive Director Clarence Muziamba says the country cannot continue losing productive citizens to a preventable disease. Mr. Muziamba notes that the Ministry of Health cannot stop cholera alone, hence the need to join hands and conquer the disease. He has since appealed to citizens to have a positive mindset towards garbage disposal and maintain high levels of hygiene during the cholera outbreak and beyond.
As Zambian Empowerment Hub for Entrepreneurship and Skills Training, ZEHEST, we are calling for concerted efforts when it comes to fighting cholera. Cholera is a preventable disease, and we already know the cure. We are asking members of the public to ensure that we take precautions to keep our environment clean, green and healthy. We also appeal to the government to ensure that they put all the necessary measures as well as citizens. We need a mindset transformation when it comes to garbage disposal. As a think tank organization, we know that the Ministry of Health cannot fight cholera alone, but we need concerted efforts from various stakeholders to ensure that our homes are clean, our trading places are clean, even our offices, our churches should be clean. Already we know that we have been affected by this pandemic because schools, our school calendar has been disturbed. Our schools will not open tomorrow, on Monday as scheduled, but they will open after 3 weeks. Cholera is a preventable disease. We ask each and every person to come on board and put measures together to fight this cholera. ZEHEST is a think tank, non-governmental organization working around entrepreneurship, environment, governance, and empowerment programs, policies, and projects.
The rehabilitation of about 300 meters of Tongwe Road near Kamwala Prison in Lusaka has commenced at a total cost of 200,000 kwacha. Kamwala Ward 5 Councillor Mainda Simata says the works are being funded by Gosia Islamic Trust. Speaking in an interview, Mr. Simata says the rehabilitation will involve a putting of reinforced concrete in the potholes and is expected to conclude in 3 days. Here's a report.
Emergency rehabilitation of pothole-ridden roads in Lusaka's Kamwala Ward 5 has commenced. The rehabilitation works have started with the worst affected Chongwe Road in Kamwala trading area. Flagging off the work Saturday morning, Kamwala Ward 5 Councillor Mainda Simata says the rehabilitation is sponsored by Gosia Islamic Trust.
It's about 150 meters of this rehabilitation and it's going to be done in 3 phases. What you are seeing today is phase 3, That involves cleaning up and deflating the potholes and then putting reinforced concrete on them. It's going to take 3 days. Today is day 1, so we're expecting the last day to be Monday, when the road will be finally opened.
Speaking in an interview, Mr. Smarter says the works are estimated to cost over 200,000 kwacha and are split in 2 phases.
Water town center all the way up to Kapio Road. So it's an economic road, and that's why we decided to start with this. We are going to roll out other programs of pothole patching, and we are hoping that in the near future we should not be doing pothole patching, but rather rehabilitating full roads like we have done with the ring road, the 2 kilometers of ring road, starting from Kapio Road all the way up to the traffic lights at STA.
Once complete, the road will see the ease in movement of traders around Kamwala and other motorists on this part of town. For Camnet TV News, Afyas Kaptula, Lusaka.
A resident of LUSAKA'S KANYAMA compound had the door of his house removed in the early hours of Saturday in a family dispute over collection of rentals. The victim, Dominic Banda, tells Camnet News that he woke up to the brother of the landlord, Mick Mwape, demanding for rentals which were already paid. Mr. Banda explains that when he notified Mr. Mwape about the payment of his rentals, he opted to remove the door from the house. Concerned Citizens for Justice and Human Rights based in Kanyama has since condemned the removal of the door from the tenant's house, stating that it is tantamount to burglary. Here's a report.
Drama as a dispute over the collection of rentals between brothers at a family house in LUSAKA'S Kanyama Saturday morning left a tenant without a door to his house. This was after a brother to the landlord, Mickey Mwape, removed the door demanding rentals from Dominic Banda, who however already paid his rentals. According to the victim, Mr. Banda, he pays money to Mr. Mwape's brother, who resides on the Copper Belt, but was taken by surprise Saturday morning when Mr. Mwape demanded for the money. Aggrieved Banda, who had to stay away from work, dragged Mr. Mwape to Concerned Citizens for Justice and Human Rights based in the compound. Questioned why he opted to leave the tenant in the open, Mr. Mwape argued that the move was only meant to summon his Copper Belt brother, who doesn't avail himself to maintain the house despite collecting the money, and leaves the job to him.
Our problem is our balibi. So nizofuna waja so netesto kitenzo kambira ati awa katusai do momene wenzo wachitira explain mwenzo mwambera wa bosai mwenzo mvera pamene watumira paja wakamba bwanje ati babwera so nizofuna waja bali kuja njawa mnenifuni sisi.
The argument has however not sat well with Concerned Citizens for Justice and Human Rights, stating that it is a police case.
You as a family, you handle your issues. Then, after handling the issues, that's when you can approach the tenant. Not like the way the situation is, where the tenant is innocent. Then, you come and settle your scores with a person who is not in conflict with the law. So I want to put it on record that because of the serious nature of this case, we have referred this matter to the police.
For Camnet TV News, Afyas Kaptula, Lusaka.
The Christian Coalition of Zambia has urged Inspector General of Police Grafael Msamba to resign from his position on moral grounds. Coalition President Clergy Chomba says the organization has taken interest in the directive by Mr. Msamba not to allow political parties to hold rallies. Mr. Chomba says the directive exposes bias and partisanship in the enforcement of the law and order, in which which is contrary to the constitution of Zambia. Mr. Musamba has come under fire from several stakeholders, especially opposition political party leaders, following his directive not to allow rallies, citing security reasons.
With the Christian coalition, I've observed a pattern of biasness when it comes to the way the police have conducted themselves, especially when it comes to the members of the opposition. They have conducted themselves in a very biased manner, especially when the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Raphael Musamba, made a directive that he will not allow the opposition political parties to hold political rallies. This to us has come as a surprise because Zambia is a democratic nation that allows the formation of as many political parties. And therefore, if you allow as many political parties to be formed, it means that they will need to assemble as time allows in order for them to disseminate information to the would-be members and even to their members. And it is enshrined in the Constitution as a fundamental right for every Zambian to have the right to assembly. The directive by the Inspector General of Police is unconstitutional. It shows biasness, and therefore we as Christian Coalition, we are demanding to him to either rescind his decision or resign. And we call on the appointing authority to look into this matter. We know that Mr. Raphael Musamba is an honorable man who at this time has gone against the constitution of this country. The police are there to protect the people, to protect property, and to enforce law and order, and not to infringe on the rights of the citizens of Zambia.
The Agriculture Climate Action Foundation has urged the government through the Ministry of Agriculture to find a lasting solution to the high price of mealie meal. Foundation Executive Director Oliver Bulaya says leaving millers out to support the Zambia National Service is detrimental to the mealie meal value chain in the long term. Dr. Bulaya adds that government must relook into measures that will further lower production cost of maize through lowering the cost of fertilizer and giving incentives to seed companies. Here's a report.
For as far back as April 2023, Zambians have been grappling with a high cost of living, which has seen increased cost of basic commodities such as mealie meal, among others. After loud cries from citizens, government sanctioned the supply of the Eagle-branded ZNS mealie meal onto the market to be sold at a cheaper price.
We'll be selling at 230 kwacha breakfast. Roller meal will be selling at 190 kwacha, 25 kgs.
However, Agriculture Climate Action Foundation is urging government through the Minister of Agriculture to find a lasting solution to the high cost of the commodity.
It is a well-noted factor that despite the reduction of prices of fertilizer, the cost of fertilizer in remotest areas is still expensive, and the government facility to distribute cheaper mealie meal is not feasible in rural areas. Therefore, the agricultural transformation agenda must not be seen to ease the lives of people along the line of rail, negating the remotest areas of our country. As we begin this year, we urge the government through the Ministry of Agriculture to find lasting solutions to the mealie meal crisis by having a roundtable consultative meeting with all stakeholders relevant in this sector.
Foundation Executive Director Dr. Oliver Bulaya has further urged government to engage Millers Association of Zambia, saying leaving them out to support ZNS and other identified players is detrimental to the mealie meal value chain.
Nothing can be done leaving out very important parties in the value chains, such as the millers. We employ the government to find amicable and workable solutions with the Millers Association of Zambia, because leaving them out to support the Zambia National Service and other identified players will be detrimental to the meal value chains in a long-term basis, and as a sign that government is backtracking on its call to work with the private sector in developing the country. We call upon the government to look into measures that will further lower production cost of maize through the lowering cost of fertilizer and giving incentives to seed companies to do the same.
Today, the average price of a 25 kg bag of mealie meal stands at 6 times President Hakainde Hichilema's promised price of 50 kwacha per 25 kg bag, as the commodity is now fetching around 300 kwacha. Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
Economist Yusuf Dodia has expressed concern over the non-mention of the implementation of the export tracking framework by Minister of Finance Tumbeko Musokotwani in his recent address. Mr. Dodia says returning export earnings into the country as planned by the export tracking framework is key to arrest the lack of money in the economy. On Thursday, 4th January 2024, Minister of Finance and National Planning, Dr. Tumbeko Musokotwani, briefed the nation over crucial economic updates and the 2024's 177 billion kwacha national budget implementation. Here's a report. Sincere apologies for the video that has no audio. However, we continue with the news. The group of civil society organization championing the return of vendetta to Konkora copper mines has applauded the government for lodging the creditors' scheme of arrangement with the courts. Minister of Mines Paul Kabuswe disclosed Friday that the scheme of arrangement will pave the way for the removal of KCM's assets from provisional liquidation. CSO-led Samuel Banda says the announcement by the minister is welcome and guarantees the return of productivity in the mining sector and the nation at large. This week, the CSOs petitioned the minister over the delay in finalizing the KCM deal, as well as some KCM employees protesting, demanding the mine resume operations under the agreed terms with vendetta.
Commitment. Therefore, we want to indicate that we are profoundly happy that finally government has submitted the creditors' scheme of arrangement to the Zambian court, which is a very important fundamental aspect to the transition process because it is going to facilitate for the withdrawal of the provisional liquidator and enable vendetta resources set up its board of directors and begin to implement their investment commitment. As a consortium, we want to indicate that we are optimistic, we are confident that vendetta resources will fulfill its investment commitments. Ultimately, we want to urge the Minister of Mines, Paul Kabuswe, to avoid the misinformation, to be updating the nation regularly on the status of the transition process.
On that note, we take our first set of commercials. We have more news coming up. Don't go away.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palavana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, Embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Introducing Darren B, a touch of class. Are you looking for the perfect place to elevate your style and glam up? Look no further. Darren B Touch of Class is your one-stop destination for hair and makeup transformation. Walk into Darren B and walk out feeling like a star. Your transformation starts here. Call us on 0772 870 588 or WhatsApp on 0972 049 213 to book your appointment today. Payments are made via mobile money or point-of-sale machine. Strictly no cash payments. We are located along Mossy Road in Ibex Hill, 4th close on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post. At Darren B, we pride ourselves on our team of dedicated and trained personnel ready to pamper both women and children. Darren B is open 7 days a week from 0720 hours to 1740 hours. From trendy hairstyles and stylish makeovers to flawless makeup, we do it all. Darren B, a touch of class.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
The Zambia Revenue Authority, ZRA, has unearthed origin fraud smuggling scam by some importers of paper bonds and PVC fumes, resulting in about 600,000 revenue loss. ZRA Corporate Communications Manager Oliver Nzara says officers tracked the consignment through Victoria Border Post and instructed the driver to report to Makeni Enforcement Center. Mr. Nzara says after conducting a physical inspection, it was noted that there were a lot of lapses in the packaging and labeling of the products suggesting a different origins. He explains that origins fraud is done to evade tax through SADC certificates of origin as goods that originate from region member states enjoy removal of duty and other advantages. Kaoma Town Council has constructed a 1x2 classroom block at the cost of 480,000 kwacha at Nanchola Primary School in Lunyati Ward in the district. Nanchola head teacher Webing Kumbwa has expressed gratitude to the government, saying the infrastructure will improve the quality of education at the school. Speaking when handing over the project, Kaoma Central Member of Parliament, Brigadier General Morgan Sitwara, said has reaffirmed government's commitment towards improving the education sector in the country. Here's a report.
Located 108 kilometers away from Kaoma Central Business District is Nanchola Primary School, which has been facing poor infrastructure since its time of inception. Nanchola Primary School was established in the year 2010. The pupils around this area have been covering long distances of about 12 to 15 kilometers. And today, Kaoma Town Council is set to hand over a newly constructed 1x2 classroom block, which was constructed at a total cost of 480,000 kwacha. Nanchola Primary School head teacher highlights some challenges they faced before the construction of this new facility.
So what used to happen is these learners, when they come in the morning, they have to make their own desks from the poles that were around this school. That's why they used to sit. And then you look at the distance also where these learners are coming from. They are covering about, 10 to 15 kilometers from their different farms that are around this area.
Kauma District Commissioner Sheba Miambango was the guest of honor at this event.
The construction of this 1x2 classroom block is not just about bricks and mortar. It symbolizes the investment in the future of our children, the future leaders of our great nation. It is a clear demonstration of the government's commitment to creating conducive learning spaces where knowledge can flourish and dreams can take flight. As we hand over this facility, we trust it into your care with the hope that it becomes a harbor of knowledge and inspiration.
And Brigadier General Morgan Stwala is Kauma Member of Parliament.
Bene aitaha, alutali mimushobo, alutali mikuli mutioki yomu kuswarika paki yomu terere, lutali makuliki mwana wa Zambia yasonela kweza benefit. Emu yaluna bashemi baka, kikuli mwa wadi ni wadi, kube ni secondary school. Kaufera mawadi, lwa isakwate ni ma secondary school, lwa yaha, kulibana na bakene skolo.
Kauma District Education Board Secretary Representative had this to say.
This development here is a great development here in this area because it's the first time, it is unprecedented for us to see a classroom like this one. As schools are going to open in 3 weeks' time, all our children are going to learn from a new classroom block, which is also furnished with the desks.
Nanchola community members are happy to receive this classroom block.
Amid
this free education being implemented by government in all public schools, such initiatives are encouraged as this promotes quality education. Enoch Kaneta, reporting for Camnet News in Kauma District, Western Province.
Now, Siavonga district in the Southern Province has recorded 4 armyworms. It becomes one of the several districts in the country that have recorded the insects. Here's a report.
In a significant move to combat the threat of 4 armyworms, government has allocated about 50 million kwacha to the Ministry of Agriculture to help fight the pests in the country. In Siavonga district, the Department of Agriculture has embarked on training camp officers in integrated 4 armyworm management as a way of equipping them with information on how to identify and manage the pests. Further, the team went for a field experience to identify signs of the 4 armyworms infestation, which has already infected most fields in the district.
This is a pest which has been with us for some time, and now we've managed it, or we have known, we've come up with methods on how to eliminate or maybe mitigate or reduce the effects, the devastating effects of these 4 armyworms. So the assurance we're giving them that once they've planted, let the farmers consult from the camp officers, and also the camp officers should interact more with the farmers so that issues of monitoring and scouting in the fields can be done, so that at least an amicable solution can be found so that we protect and secure our food.
The district farm management officer encouraged farmers to detect the 4 armyworms early and ensure maximum management of the pests.
Farming is a business currently, and nowadays what we expect from each and every farmer is to produce not only for consumption but also for the market. So it's very imperative that these 4 armyworms are controlled at a very, very early stage so that quality is not compromised.
The camp officers are confident that the training will empower farmers to be able to fight the 4 armyworms.
They are very much ready because we have been trained and equipped with information on how we're going to help farmers in the field concerning about the 4 armyworms.
The workshop was very beneficial. Personally, I've gathered some knowledge which I will use in the field as I am going to work with the farmers.
Mkwengu Shapande, Zanis, Siavonga District, Southern Province.
We take another set of a break, but when we come back, we have international sports news. Don't go away.
Introducing Darren B, a touch of class. Are you looking for the perfect place to elevate your style and glam up? Look no further. Darren B Touch of Class is your one-stop destination for hair and makeup transformation. Walk into Darren B and walk out feeling like a star. Your transformation starts here. Call us on 0772 870 588 or WhatsApp on 0972 049 213 to book your appointment today. Payments are made via mobile money or point-of-sale machine. Strictly no cash payments. We are located along Mossy Road in Ibex Hill, 4th close on the left after Kalikiliki Police Post. At Darren B, we pride ourselves on our team of dedicated and trained personnel ready to pamper both women and children. Darren B is open 7 days a week from 0720 hours to 1740 hours. From trendy hairstyles and stylish makeovers to flawless makeup, we do it all. Darren B, a touch of class.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Rain Glow, your smart irrigation partner.
Welcome back, and now in international news, the Commander-in-Chief of Sudanese Armed Forces, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, said Friday he wouldn't accept to negotiate with the Rapid Support Forces. Al-Burhan cited war crimes and crimes against humanity allegedly committed by the RSF of General Muhammad Hamdan Daglo. Speaking to soldiers in the Red Sea states, the head of the Sudanese army forces asserted that the RSF perpetrated crimes in the West Darfur and across Sudan. He said they made any reconciliation or deal with the RSF unacceptable. We now have a roundup of international news.
The Commander-in-Chief of the Sudanese Armed Forces, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, reaffirmed Friday his refusal to negotiate with the Rapid Support Forces. Al-Burhan cited war crimes and crimes against humanity allegedly committed by the RSF of General Muhammad Hamdan Daglo. He said they made any reconciliation or deal with the RSF unacceptable. This comes as the warring generals agreed last month to a face-to-face meeting and to start talks over a possible ceasefire, according to the East African Regional Bloc IGAD. RSF Commander Hamdan Daglo is on an East Africa tour. During his trips, he has claimed to being committed to cease hostilities. 8 months of war between Sudan's top generals have brought destruction upon the nation and killed over 12,000 people. Senegal's Constitutional Council rejected Friday the application of opposition leader Ousmane Sonko, who seeks to run in next month's presidential race. According to local media, there were allegedly missing documents in the jailed opposition leader's application. However, one of his lawyers persists his application was complete and waits official notification of the decision. Sonko's presidential bid has faced a prolonged legal battle that started when he was accused of rape in 2021. Last June, he was acquitted of the rape charges but convicted of corrupting youth and sentenced to 2 years in prison, which ignited deadly protests across the country. The Constitutional Council decision comes after a top court upheld the defamation conviction against the leader of now-dissolved PASTEF party on Friday. The council has the final say on all the candidacies. Eligible candidates will be announced by mid-January. Ghanaian chef Failatu Abdul Razak has been cooking since New Year's Day to break the Guinness World Record. As of Friday afternoon, the chef had cooked for over 113 hours at a hotel in the northern city of Tamale.
As a Ghanaian, it's history in the making. It's something that has not happened at all. We recently had a sing-a-thon that happened in Accra, and in terms of the cookathon, this is the first of its kind. So it is history in the making, and as a Ghanaian, I must be proud to be part of it.
Last month, Efwa Asantwa Adunum tried to beat the longest singing marathon by an individual. Chef Abdul Razak said her own attempt was a national assignment on behalf of Ghana and its citizens. Ghanaians have flocked to support the chef and enjoy local and regional dishes.
When I came here, I asked myself a lot of questions. So it is an opportunity for Ghanaians to know that, or for the youth of today to know that, whatever that you choose to do it well and do it better and do it the best way.
The longest cooking marathon by an individual is 119 hours and 57 minutes. Any record break will have to be confirmed by the Guinness World Record Organization.
And now in sports news, the CHIPOLOPOLO pre-AFCON expedition has clocked 3 days with the technical bench gradually intensifying sessions at the King Fahd Sports City complex ahead of the African Cup of Nations, which kicks off on January 13th in Cote d'Ivoire. Zambia will wind up the camp with an international friendly match against Cameroon on January 9th in Jeddah before jetting out to San Pedro, where they will be based for the tournament. The CHIPOLOPOLO will start their Group F campaign on January 17th against Congo DR before playing the Taifa Stars of Tanzania 4 days later and wind up against Morocco on January the 24th. On that sporting note, we come to the end of today's menus, but before we go, another look at the stories that made the headlines. The Christian Coalition calls for the resignation of the Inspector General of Police. Government urged to find a lasting solution to high meal prices. Tenants' door removed in a family dispute over rentals in LUSAKA'S KANYAMA constituency. In international news, Sudan's army chief rejects negotiations with rival RSF. And in sports news, CHIPOLOPOLO intensifies AFCON preps. And before we go, we now look at the Camnet verse of the day, which comes from the book of Romans chapter 6 verse 23, and it reads, "For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life in Christ Jesus our Lord." That's it. That's all we had for the news. Don't forget to join us for another bulletin. On behalf of the entire news team, have a blessed night.